So you're serious about your fitness, right? You track every workout, you dial in your nutrition. But what about that third piece of the puzzle? Today, we're breaking down Dr. Mike Isertel's expert advice on how to actually engineer your sleep. Because let's be honest, how you rest is every bit as important as how you lift and how you eat. All right, let's get into it. And that right there, that's the brutal truth of it. Dr. Mike doesn't mess around. See, bad sleep isn't just about feeling tired. It can literally sabotage your body composition goals. It can mean all that sweat in the gym and all that discipline in the kitchen is pretty much going to waste. The stakes here are incredibly high. And just look at how stark the difference is. It's night and day. Quality sleep, that puts your body in a prime state for building muscle and burning fat. But bad sleep, it does the exact opposite. It can literally make you lose that hard-earned muscle while you gain fat, even when you're dieting. It's a complete 180 from everything you're trying to achieve. Okay, so how do we get this right? We're going to follow this simple roadmap. We just covered why that sleep gains connection is so critical. Next up, we'll get into timing your daily rhythm. Then we'll talk about building the perfect wind-down ritual. And finally, we'll wrap up by showing you how to optimize your actual sleep space. First things first, timing. Now, this might sound a little weird, but getting a great night's sleep doesn't start at 10 p.m. It actually starts the second you wake up. It's all about syncing your daily habits with your body's internal clock. And the magic here is how these three steps work together. Waking up at the same time every day, that anchors your whole biological clock. Then, that morning sunlight hits your eyes and basically tells your brain, hey, it's daytime, and sets a countdown timer for when you should get sleepy later. And by timing your workout for the afternoon, you get that performance edge without being too jacked up to actually fall asleep. But here's a really key piece of advice from Dr. Mike. Be realistic. You don't have to be a perfect sleep robot. The goal isn't to hit an exact bedtime every single night without fail. It's about building a consistent rhythm on most nights. A late night every now and then isn't going to totally derail your progress. It's the average over the week that really matters. Now, this whole timing thing also applies to what you put in your body. Caffeine literally works by getting in the way of the receptors in your brain that make you feel tired. And alcohol, well, it might knock you out, but it absolutely trashes the quality of your deep and REM sleep, which are the most important stages for muscle repair. So the rule is simple. Cut off the caffeine early in the afternoon and ditch the alcohol well before you hit the hay. All right, moving on to our second pillar, your wind-down ritual. Think of this like creating a buffer zone between your busy, high-stress day and a night of deep, restorative rest. You have to actively send signals to your brain that it's time to power down and start the recovery process. And what's the number one enemy of that power down signal? You guessed it, blue light. To our brains, which are still pretty ancient, the blue light from our phones, our TVs, our computers, it looks just like the midday sun. It basically screams, wake up, and slams the brakes on melatonin, the exact hormone you need to feel sleepy. But it's not just the light itself, it's the content. Getting into arguments on Twitter, checking stressful work emails, swiping on dating apps. All that stuff kicks your sympathetic nervous system into high gear. That's your fight or flight mode. And that is the absolute opposite of the calm state you need to fall asleep. So what do you do instead? You replace that simulation with relaxation, reading a real book, listening to some chill music, taking a warm shower. These things shift you into that rest and digest mode. The real goal here is to create a consistent 15 to 30-minute routine that your brain starts to associate with bedtime. After a couple of weeks, just starting the routine will be enough to make you feel sleepy. And hey, that wind out includes your last meal too. Eating a huge, heavy meal right before bed is a big problem because all that digestion actually raises your core body temperature. And as we're about to see, a drop in your body temperature is a huge trigger for falling asleep. A light snack with some protein is great, but a massive 5-course dinner is a definite no-go. Okay, let's hit our final pillar, your environment. This is where we stop managing your body and start engineering your physical space. I mean, your bedroom can either be your greatest ally in getting good sleep or your worst enemy. And the single biggest change you can make? The temperature. Yep, you're seeing that right, 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. I know, it sounds shockingly cold, but a cool room helps your core body temperature drop naturally, which is one of the main signals that tells your body it's time to sleep. If you're kicking off the blankets because you're sweating, it's way too warm in there. And Dr. Mike has this perfect, super simple rule of thumb to help you find your sweet spot. You want the air in the room to be cool enough that you actually need a blanket to be comfortable. But once you're under that blanket, you feel perfectly warm and cozy. That's it. That's the magic zone for amazing sleep. And beyond the temperature, the goal is to create a powerful mental connection. Your brain needs to know that when you get in that bed, it's for sleep and nothing else. That means making it pitch black, using a fan for some white noise, and keeping all work, all stress, and all clutter out of there. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for rest, period. So, as we wrap up, if there's one idea that ties all of this together, it's this: aim for consistency, not perfection. You don't have to nail every single one of these things every single night. Just focus on getting the basics right most of the time. And I promise you are going to see a huge difference in your recovery and your results. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to this. You treat your training like a science, you treat your nutrition like a science, you plan out every variable to get the best possible outcome. Sleep deserves that exact same level of detail. So the real question is, isn't it about time you started engineering your sleep for maximum gains?